Jaguars senior writer John Oehser, NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks, and senior reporter J.P. Shadrick bring you the latest on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Huddle Up starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks on this Wednesday of Week 2 of the National Football League, and a busy show ahead. Panthers Jaguars final review. We'll take a look one last time at the winning result this past week. Another Jaguars trade. James Gladstone not messing around this preseason and now early into the season, sending a running back to Philadelphia. We'll get to that, of course, in the aftermath there. The Jaguars-Bengals matchup coming up this Sunday at 1 o'clock at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. We'll preview that game featuring, of course, Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, another battle of number 1 overall draft pick quarterbacks. J.P. Shadrick, John Oehser from the Hyundai Studios, Bucky Brooks in L.A. And Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks is brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. Bucky, good afternoon.
What's up, man? How you doing?
You know.
What's up, John?
Just some ball.
How
are you?
Just talking ball.
Just talking ball. 1-0. Feeling great. Undefeated. Unblemished.
Yeah.
Undisputed. I think that's how we call it, right?
Undisputed.
Undisputed. You cannot dispute their 1-0.
Correct.
Can't take that away from them.
No. Before we dig into last week's game, let's get to what happened after the game on Monday. Tank Bigsby traded to the Eagles for a couple of draft picks, 5th and a 6th rounder. The 5th could become a 4th. We'll get to that later. The reaction from head coach Liam Cohen.
No, it really just came down to, after some time of evaluating and just working through some things, just felt like, especially, post-Sunday, it was just probably best to move on, to just give him an opportunity to go. And both the same with us. We feel good about, where we're at moving forward. I wish him nothing but the best. And, he's a good dude and just worked out that way. So really feel confident, obviously, with some of the way that those other guys stepped in, did some good things. It's hard to rotate forward. And, wish him nothing but the best.
It's Liam Cohen earlier today. It's now the 4th trade the Jags have made since the start of training camp. They added Colin Saunders. They added a draft pick in the 7th round when they sent Fred Johnson to the Eagles. They added Tim Patrick when they sent a 6th rounder to Detroit. And now they've sent Tank Bigsby to the Eagles for 2 picks in 2026. Now 13 picks, John, on the docket for next year. But this has really kind of cleared up the running back situation a little bit for the Jags.
Well, yeah, and Bucky can obviously speak to this as well because it's his show. But it's a clear sign, that graphic we just put up, of a regime that got here in February, worked with guys throughout the offseason, looked at their roster and trying to get it the way they wanted to get it. I think ETN and Tootin, I think Tootin's going to be a star in the future. ETN fits right now, and Allen
yep.
is a guy that they love in the passing game. I don't know that they expected on draft day to love LaQuint Allen in the passing game the way they did. So all of a sudden you get to where you've got to get these guys active. They want Tootin active. ETN's too good in this offense not to have him active. Allen's too good. All of a sudden you have 3 guys who were too good a fit in this. And you had Tank, who's a really good running back, but maybe not the fit with the other traits they want, Bucky. And at some point they had to say, you know what? These 3 guys, we believe in them. And I think that was really the fit and production.
Ron Wolf, Hall of Fame executive, used to always talk about the advantages of having depth at a position where people normally say, oh, well, why would you keep all those guys out of training camp? You have to cut somebody. But when you have a surplus, what it allows you to do is to trade off and get something bad to attack a weakness. And the strength of the running back room that we talked about, you talked about LaQuint Allen, I knew there was something up, not necessarily the trade, but when he's on the field the second series, man, you talk about someone coming from the bottom of the depth chart, being able to be a major contributor, that they have that much trust in him. He was going to be a player. Already knew that Tootin was someone that was of interest because of his speed and explosiveness. And then when you watch Travis Etienne play in that game and have a feel for how he fits in this offense, you just knew that it was extremely crowded and you can't play everybody to me, it was a great move for the Jaguars to move on from Tank Bigsby, give him an opportunity to play. And based on what the Eagles were willing to give up, there's a role that they envisioned for him, because otherwise you don't give up 2 draft picks for a player to bring on at this stage.
Yeah, now 5th and 6th for a back is not nothing. I mean, that's may not sound like a lot, but those are, for a running back, fairly good value to get. I think the running back room also is symbolic of this regime's approach. And what I'm getting at is, you didn't know in March how this was going to shake out, but Travis Etienne came in here and embraced what they were talking about, accepted the role, meaning he's clearly the RB1 right now, but I don't think he would be here if he hadn't embraced the passing game, embraced what they were doing, went at it full force, didn't worry about all the speculation being said. And more than Travis, Tootin and Allen show you when they go get guys, even if they're young guys, they're going to trust that they can get on the field. I mean, this is a 3rd round or 4th round pick, right? And a 7th round pick that, as Bucky said, a 7th round pick is in the game 2 series in for his pass blocking, made a play in the running game, made a play, had a short reception. When they draft guys, they're going to trust them to play, and draft and develop. Yeah, draft and go play.
Yeah, and after that long 71-yard run, Tootin was the guy that came on for the next 2 carries as well. So Bigsby didn't have a touch until the second half, late in the game. So
yeah, there's a belief. James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, coming from the Rams, but they had a lot of success playing young guys, unheralded guys. They have to clear a path to be able to get guys on the field. And we've heard James Gladstone talk about that. To play young players, you have to clear the path so they can get onto the field. And that means removing some of the veterans who have been there, some of the veterans who coaches may be more comfortable with, where you got to take them off the table so the young guys get a chance to play, to get an opportunity to not only succeed, but to fail, learn from their mistakes, and get better. That is what it takes. And eventually, when you begin to pay all of these players down the line, when you start thinking about who you're going to have to play eventually, Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor's already on the books and those things, you're going to have to be comfortable playing young guys. And so you might as well start at year 1. We're going to play young guys. And what it's also going to do is going to help when it comes to the undrafted free agent market, that guys, if you're good enough, you have an opportunity to play in Jacksonville. There's no stigma or bias in terms of where you come in pole position. Best players play. People talk about that, but few people live it out like the Jags are doing.
And look, I don't know what the future is for Travis Etienne. I hope he's here because he's one of my favorite players in terms of just his approach to the game. I think he's a pro. I think he's a kid who sees things with his eyes open. But if he's not here, look, they love Tootin. I expect Tootin to start for this team at some point. And you've got, 92 draft picks next year now, JP?
Yeah, right. Almost.
So you've got so many draft picks. It's a young man's position, and it can be a mid-round man's position as well. Somewhere in those picks, Bucky, if you're worried about the running back position long-term, I was joking, you have 13 selections. You can draft a couple of running backs within that in the 3rd or 4th round, just like they did with Tootin. So I think that will be their approach moving forward with running back, unless Travis Etienne, what's 143 times 17, JP? It's a lot.
Yeah.
If he sets the NFL record, then you might rethink it.
Yeah. If he walks down Eric Dickerson, then we got different fish to fry.
He's off to a good start.
Yeah. Let's get one final thought on Bucky last week's win. Obviously, the running game was there. The defense with 3 takeaways. They had some penalty issues, but overcame some of them on some of the early drives. Just looking back at it now and hearing from the head coach today, where do you think they made the biggest strides, and what did they show to you in week 1?
Well, let me talk about Liam Cohen, just because I had the opportunity to kind of hear him and watch him throughout the game in terms of just the leadership and what he brings to the table. I would say, man, calm, composed, very clear about what he wants this team to be able to accomplish. And it comes out with his clear communication, very black or white when it comes to telling the team what his expectations are and how they're going to get to operating and executing the plan that is laid before them. And then when you watch the team and have to deal with some of the storms that came up, weather delay, right after the team has seized momentum, you're now in the locker room for an hour and some change. You have to go back, restart, reset, and find a way to kind of find that edge again after you kind of had seized momentum in the game. To me, that was the maturity that we've been looking for from this team. And then as the game played out, it's complementary football. It was running game offense, some explosive plays, but a grinded out approach on offense, defense coming up with the takeaways, and then critical plays by the kicking game. And I will say this wasn't a clean, this wasn't an A+ performance. It probably would rate in the B+ range, but they were able to win, and they were able to win decisively without being on their game. This week will provide a bigger test, but I think for an opener, it was really solid all around in terms of making the brand that you talked about come to life, because everything that Liam Cohen talked about in the offseason, the vision for how the team is going to play, you saw that play out in real time in week one.
Yeah, I think it was an A+ performance, Bucky, in the area where you just mentioned. I think it was an A+ performance in establishing themselves as a physical, tough team. And I think if you ask Liam Cohen this, he would say that's good because that's the one area that you can sort of control. You can always be a physical, tough team. You can always get an A+ there. Like I always got an A+, JP, in the effort classes because, you control that. You have to be smart to get that. But I think you can control that, and I think he would tell you that's where he wanted to see the A+ in terms of play style, in terms of playing in the way that he wanted to play. You can't always control A+ with a quarterback. You can't always control A+ with turnovers. But you can control how you want to play. And Bucky, it's interesting you went the Liam Cohen direction at the start of this. When they first hired him, my one concern was offensive coordinator, young offensive coordinator, would he coach the whole team? Mm-hmm. And I think if you asked him, he would say that's what he has to concentrate on the most because he's an offensive coordinator at heart. But boy, we have the opportunity here at Jaguars Media to hear a lot of his speeches to the team, the way he communicates. He's not just an offensive coordinator, Bucky. He communicates. Some offensive coordinators I've been around, I've thought there's no way this guy could be a head coach because all he cares about is getting in the film room. Liam loves the film room, don't get me wrong. But he can communicate, and his ability to coach this team, to be the leader, to get his messages across. I can't say I was ever concerned about that because you don't know, but it's the unknown. And you've seen it a little bit on the sidelines. This guy is a head coach and a leader before he's an offensive coordinator as much as he loves being a coordinator.
Yeah, he is. And I would say that was the part that I was really surprised about, like his ability to be a head coach. And it's still a growing process. You grow and evolve into the role as a head coach. But I'm going to tell you, man, the command, and I know some of the things are privy to us that we can't necessarily release to the public, but I will say he definitely has a command about him as a head coach. He doesn't mind standing up and giving what I call the hard truths to the team. And he does it in a way that is not just a offensive coordinator in front of the team. I'm going to give you the coach speak like I am a head coach. He comes off as a head coach. And as competitive as a coach I've seen, because near the end of the game when the Jaguars are up and the Panthers are driving and the game is out of hand, like it's over, it's the last drive, and I'm telling you, he is all in 10 toes down on the defense to finish the game out the right way. And it's a little thing, but it was a big thing because rather than saying, hey man, let's just kind of like float to the end and cruise through the tape, he was like, finish the game the right way. And to me, it was an example of a coach trying to establish a standard with his team. We continue to play hard regardless of the score, whether we're up, whether we're down. The way that we play, we're emotionally unaffected by the score, and he was trying to impress that upon the team. And to me, that was very impressive.
Yeah, it's an interesting combination, JP. You've got a guy who I'm not going to call him a genius because I hate that word with coaches, but who's an offensive guy who can really coach offense, whose dad was a head coach and he grew up seeing how to be a head coach. It's ingrained in him. Might be the perfect combination.
Could be. We'll come back in a moment and take a look ahead. We'll turn the page and look forward to week number 2 and another matchup of former number 1 overall draft pick quarterbacks. And this season, the Jags are bringing the heat. 4 chances to see the legendary Prowler throwback uniforms hit the field. 4 games, 1 iconic look. Don't miss your chance to witness history in the making. Get your tickets at jaguars.com/tickets. Texans week 3, Chiefs on Monday Night Football week 5, Colts week 14, and then Titans game to wrap up the regular season in week 18. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even the hard-to-find full-size Range Rover and Range Rover Sport. Stop searching for your next luxury vehicle and see Fields first.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Get 3.9% APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Range Rover Sport V8 plus $4,000 in loyalty cash at Land Rover Jacksonville.
The kick is up. It's good!
Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. Just like the best players to ever wear the Jaguars black and teal, Echo East Coast Transportation is reliable when it counts. As the team's official transportation provider, they've been getting the Jaguars players, staff, and executives where they need to be, safely and on time, for more than a decade, with the newest vehicles and professional drivers. Call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions for your 15% Jaguars discount.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
His ability to create is elite. His accuracy, the pinpoint of it, his ability to put balls in tight spaces, give those guys opportunities. He knows them so well and what they do well and how they want the ball thrown to them. It's clear that they have chemistry, even when last week's output wasn't maybe as much as they've been used to. You can still see that there was some moments where like, whoa, that was pretty good. So it's a huge challenge for us. I got a ton of respect for Zach and what he's been able to do there over the years, and Joe's a special player.
Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach, earlier today, discussing Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. And the full press conference available at Jaguars.com or the Jaguars YouTube channel. You're invited to Lemon Bar September 14th to watch the Jaguars take on the Bengals in Week 2. You can join Jacksonville, the Roar, the D-Line, a can't-miss watch party experience. Admission is free, but tickets are limited. Jaguars.com/watch party and reserve yours today. JP Shadrick with John Oehser in Jacksonville. Bucky Brooks with us, as always, out in Los Angeles, California, and the second straight week where it's another battle of number 1 overall pick quarterbacks. We certainly know about Trevor Lawrence. Was drafted the year after Joe Burrow. And obviously Burrow's led his team to a Super Bowl already. He's been to 2 Pro Bowls in his career. Kind of quiet last week, of course, just over 100 yards. But he has put together a real deadly offense in Cincinnati with the receivers he has to work with as well. He does take a lot of hits, though. He's at 199 sacks for his career in 70 games. That's a lot of contact and Josh Hines Allen and company would love to add to that number this week, Bucky. And he's right there. He's obviously a top 5 quarterback in the league, but when they're going on full cylinders on this offense, they are tough to stop. Where do you begin defensively?
Look, I think the number one thing that you're talking about is making sure that we keep the ball in front of the defense. Joe Burrow is going to ring up completions and those things, but what you want to do is you want to take away the explosive plays. If we can, we want to limit the big plays and make them have to take 10 or more plays to drive the ball down the length of the field. And what you hope is when the ball gets into the red zone, you now can use the sideline and the end line as additional defenders, and you force them to settle for field goals. Then it's about making sure that you understand where number 1 and number 5 are at all times. This is a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins game. You got to make sure that you try and limit the impact that Jamar Chase has. He's going to catch his passes and those things, but what you don't want to do is to let him have one of those explosive games where he goes for 200-plus yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns, and those things. And then the final part of it is make sure that even though the attention is on Joe Burrow in the passing game, don't allow the running game to be an issue. Because if the Bengals are able to be balanced, it then creates more explosive big play opportunities in the passing game because now you're vulnerable, you're susceptible to getting beat on play action. Stop the run, limit the big plays, make them drive the length of the field, and then find a way to get it done in the end.
Yeah, I agree, Bucky. I think more and more when you're playing teams like this, when I say like this, with elite guy at quarterback and an explosive offense, it's about how you handle the moments. And one moment is when they do run on 1st and 10. Don't let that be 2nd and 6. Make sure it's 2nd and 9, so now they're feeling chain pressure in that situation. And when you get fortunate enough to get a penalty or to get a loss, and when they're in 2nd and 12, when the Jaguars are playing a team that can move the ball offensively, my most disappointing moment is when a team turns 2nd and 12 into 3rd and 1 because you haven't taken advantage of that opportunity. Out of 5 series in the first half, they might score twice. But if you get 2 or 3 other drives where you get them against the chains, you have to take advantage of those moments. So often last year they didn't. It was gut punches in those situations. But that's where, when you're in 3rd and long or 2nd and long, that's where you got to get interior push and allow Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker to have the moments to get them off the field. So often last year they didn't do that. To me, we saw one positive against Carolina, and it's a physical defense who can handle that kind of offense. How do they handle the explosive offenses? Those moments, to me, Bucky, that's the key to playing defense in the NFL these days.
It absolutely is the key. And when I look at our team, it's a team that, if you're going to talk about the kind of defense that we play, I don't know if we will evolve into being what we call a shutdown defense, where you can count on this team to get a bunch of 3-and-outs and they can win that way. We might end up being a bend but don't break, opportunistic turnover defense, meaning we'll concede some yards between the 20s, but when we bog down in the red zone, we find a way to get off the field, make you kick field goals either through stops or we get turnovers. And that is okay. It's just about making sure Joe Burrow is going to complete a bunch of passes, but let's just make sure we limit the ones that are of 20-plus yards or more. If we can keep them in a dink and dunk mode and make them drive the length of the field, the odds suggest that it's going to go our way. Something's going to happen. A penalty, a drop pass, a tip or an overthrow that lands in the hands of the defenders. The more plays that we can force them to go, the more the odds go in our favor that something bad is going to happen.
Yeah, and that was the other A-plus the other day, Bucky, to me, was the fact that whatever happened defensively, however many yards, I thought it showed Anthony Campanelli's defense clearly wants to be a defense with his eyes on the ball, that when the ball is tipped and goes up in the air, you get turnovers off of it. And Anthony Campanelli could walk out with his chest out and say, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Because both of those interceptions were exactly what he's talking about. Keep pursuing the ball, keep your eye on the ball, stay alert. It sort of goes back to the point at the start of this segment. Another thing that makes you feel a gut punch when you're playing these great offenses, and I think anything with Joe Burrow is a great offense, when you have your hands on the ball and it hits the ground defensively, you think, oh boy, that was what we needed and we didn't get it. There's moments in those games. I guess what I'm getting to is when the Jaguars have their hand on the football defensively, and they'll probably have it twice, 2 or 3 times, You got to catch 2 out of 3 of those and make them pay for those moments. If you let those moments pass against Joey Ballgame, it's ballgame.
You know, John, that's a great point. And we used to always talk about back in the days playing, if you drop a pick in the red zone, it's guaranteed the next play is going to be a touchdown. I mean, it's almost like a proven theory. If you drop an interception in the red zone, the next play is going to be a touchdown. What I would tell you being field level during the game, there is something about turnovers that tend to come in bunches. And I'm so glad that in the first game we were able to get 3 turnovers, because what it does is it proves to the team that all the things that they've done in the offseason, all of the work that they did in training camp, that the defense works. When you talk about being a vision and break defense, we're going to bend but don't break, and we're going to play zone so we have more eyes on it. And if you run to the ball, you get interceptions off tips and overthrows. Well, then in game 1, those things happen. Now you have the attention of all the players. And so they now believe, hey, man, if I run to the ball, something good is going to happen. And I'm going to tell you, the interception that was called back, Wingard, that was one where, hey, man, I'm reading my eyes. I'm going to make a play, bang. Every time you start seeing those positive plays happen, it validates what they're doing. And it just kind of becomes a feeding frenzy where you become a turnover-obsessed team. And then the turnovers just kind of happen. It's a lot of randomness to it, but they begin to happen when you begin to believe and you keep running to the ball.
Guys, let's come back.
It's like witchcraft, JP, is what it is.
Is it?
Witchcraft.
Sorcery. It's sorcery.
Maybe it is sorcery.
Yes. You know?
No.
Maybe not. Maybe it is. Let's come back and get to the Bengals defense, a refurbished group from a season ago. And that's ahead. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zip Chair furniture for fans. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
For a limited time, get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months on a new 2024 all-electric Cadillac Lyriq at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville or Fields Cadillac St. Augustine.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? Right now during the Renewal by Anderson's Big BOGO event, buy one, get one 40% off, plus 0 money down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. At Renewal by Anderson, our Acclaim Impact Replacement windows are built for Florida homes and designed to help you save money on your energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free design consultation. License number CGC 1527613.
Getting their hands on some passes, getting some turnovers. Those were big in the right spot at the right time. Guys making plays, kind of changed the game. Obviously, with Hendrickson, just always have to know where he's at, and he's a great player. Has proven himself in this league time and time again. So give him his respect. Obviously, with our preparation and just knowing where he's at, he's a really good player, and have to take care of him. So that's obviously something there. And just the defense was flying around. I think made a lot of plays. Did a nice job in the run game. Really, like I said, creating turnovers in the back end. That's the name of the game, and they created a couple of them. So it's a good defense that's flying around. A few of the guys have been there for a while. A bunch of the leaders on that defense.
Trevor Lawrence earlier today, Jaguars quarterback, asked about the Bengals defense, what they showed last week, and welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser alongside, Bucky out in Los Angeles. And let's get to this Bengals defense, Bucky. They fired the defensive staff. Al Golden, now the defensive coordinator, came from Notre Dame the last couple of years. They had a really good scheme there, of course, in college. But Golden now taking the reins. When you have Hendrickson, though, up front, you've got a chance, right? I mean, they weren't great on defense, but when you have this guy to help you as a new defensive coordinator, it goes a long way.
Look, man, he's a dominant player. The only two guys who have amassed more sacks in the last 5 years than Trey Hendrickson, that's Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. We don't talk about Hendrickson in that same breath, but he's in that stratosphere when it comes to his ability to take over. Led the league last year with 17.5 sacks, high motor player who is a problem. And we have to make sure that we identify where he is at all times. We have to slide the protection over to him to make him be a non-factor. But I'm going to say this, not only him, the young guy played pretty well last week, Shamar Stewart. They got a guy inside, B.J. Hill, that can be a factor. But this defense is at its best when Trey Hendrickson is able to control it and create chaos at the point of attack. But if you neutralize him, there's some guys that can get got in the back end, but we got to take care of 91 so we can get to the good stuff in the back end.
There's guys who can get got, Bucky, and I'll plead ignorance. I have not watched the Bengals-Browns game. I think the Jaguars are more concerned. I'm convinced they're going to be a running team until some team stops them. How are the Bengals against the run, and does what the Jaguars want to do offensively, I guess, how well do they match up?
Well, I think they match up. I mean, look, they're good up front. They're stout up front. Al Golden's a really good defensive coordinator. Coming from Notre Dame, he understands how to work with young guys. But up front, B.J. Hill, Shamar Stewart, Trey Hendrickson, those are the names that you have to pay attention to. They have a really good linebacker core. Logan Wilson's a guy that's going to be around and active. And so you just have to be aware of what those guys are. But at the end of the day, we can talk about the other team, but it really comes down to controlling the controllables. The Jaguars are in control of this because if their offensive line plays together like they played last week, you can run the football. They ran the ball on a really good front last week. Derek Brown is a monster for the Carolina Panthers, and they ran through them like a hot knife through butter for 200 yards. If this is going to be the identity where we're going to run the football, we're going to tee it up and say, hey, this is what we do. This is who we are. Let's see if the Bengals can stop it. And let's continue to do it until they prove otherwise. I don't think this is a hard or complex game when it comes down to it. Let's see if we can run it at them early and then find a way to get the ball to the perimeter later on.
Yeah, it's significant to me in that sense, JP, because they did it once. They were physical once. Can they come out and do that again against what people perceive as a better team overall in the Bengals? Can you out-physical that and make that matter against a team with the kind of offense the Bengals have? I do want to ask the analyst a question. I got a lot of questions the other day about, hey, the win was great, but Trevor this or Trevor that. You've been pretty strong this week saying you liked a lot of what you saw in Trevor. I think we like the same things, but tell me why you were so impressed with Trevor Lawrence on Sunday, Bucky.
I think I was impressed because of, it's a small thing, but it's the swag, it's the confidence, it's the composure that he played with. He felt like, I felt watching him, he was in complete control of the offense, meaning he knew what was going on. There wasn't the second and third looks to the sideline like, hey, what play are we running? What are you asking me to do? He had a confidence in terms of telling everybody where to be and how to get there. By no means was it flawless in terms of where he was putting the ball consistently in those things, but sometimes you have to play through that. What I got from him was, hey, I understand what I'm doing. I know where I need to go with the ball. I took care of the ball with the exception of a great interception to J.C. Horn. If J.C. Horn doesn't make that play, or if Trevor just throws it up 2 feet higher, it's an explosive play to Travis Hunter that we've seen in camp over and over again on that deep over route. I just have a belief that the connection between Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence is real. There's a belief that I have that Trevor feels that the head coach really is about him and elevating him. And I think in turn, Trevor's trying to meet him halfway in terms of stepping up his leadership ability. So to me, it's about Trevor understanding when to morph from manager to playmaker, when I need to dial it up and say, hey, put a little more on my shoulders. And when does he sense that, hey, the game is in control. I don't need to step outside myself. We have this on lock, so I'm just going to make good decisions. I'll take care of the ball, and we'll find a way to win the game. Because at the end of the day, quarterbacks are judged on whether they win or lose, understanding what is needed in the moment. I felt like Trevor had a great sense of what was being asked of him on Sunday.
Guys, let's come back and we'll take a look at the defensive coverage of the game. They'll need some this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and could that include Travis Hunter a little bit more? That's when we return. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Right now, lease the new 2025 all-electric Cadillac Optic for only $429 a month at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville or Fields Cadillac St. Augustine.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguar sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? Right now during the Renewal by Anderson's Big BOGO event, buy one, get one 40% off, plus zero money down, zero payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. At Renewal by Anderson, our Acclaim Impact Replacement windows are built for Florida homes and designed to help you save money on your energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free design consultation. License number CGC 1527613.
But the way they've done it at a high level now for a number of years, the chemistry, they go to a Super Bowl, you know, they've won, they've known how to win. Like Zach's done a great job there with getting those guys where they are now. And, you know, they've played in a difficult division. They've played a ton of difficult games, tight games over the years. They've pulled some of those out in some critical moments, play Kansas City tough every year. So this is a team that knows how to win. They're well coached, and they have some talent.
It's Liam Cohen earlier today in his Wednesday press conference. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. And time now for the defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. And we take a look at the Bengals wide receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Last season's numbers, over 1,700 yards for Chase, 17 touchdowns, nearly 1,000 yards for T. Higgins, and 10 touchdowns. Chase led in all the categories in the NFL on your screen. He's making a ton of money. T. Higgins has been around for a long time as well. You know, you said a few years ago, most would say that the duo in Miami, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, were hot there for a little while, and maybe the best duo because of their speed and ability down the field and everything. They've kind of waned a bit. Is this the best duo in the NFL, Bucky?
Yes. They're problematic. I mean, they are a handful because of the versatility that they bring. In Jamar Chase, what you really have is a guy that's a running back on the perimeter. He's a solid route runner. He can get open, but man, the magic happens when he gets the ball in his hands. When you look at him physically, he runs through contact. He must be hit solidly to get knocked down, to be tackled. So he challenges your guys in the back end to be able to square him up and make one-on-one tackles in space. On the other side, T. Higgins, you have one of the best jump ball specialists that you will find. Red zone weapon. This was a guy that was a terrific basketball player in high school. You can look at the YouTube highlights. He dominates. He plays above the rim. And those same skills show up on the field. One-on-one situations, Joe Burrow is not afraid to throw it up to him and let him go get it. This is going to challenge the DB's ability not only to be physical on the perimeter, but to be able to play the ball while feeling and maintaining contact with the receiver. If you play small, they'll eat you up. So this is one where you got to put your big boy pads on, you got to challenge them, and you got to be feisty and physical on the perimeter to be able to deal with these guys because they're a hell of a duo on the perimeter.
Yeah, they're heartbreakers, meaning just sort of go back to what I was talking about earlier. 3rd and 11, 2 or 3 times these guys will convert 3rd and 11 because they're just so good. So I think the key for the Jaguars is, as Liam said in his presser today, hey, it's going to happen. Don't worry about it. You know, how do you respond when they break your heart on a couple of drives? Just come back and keep playing because these guys, they're so good. JP, if they're not the best tandem in the NFL, I don't want to play the other.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're really good. You're going to have to outscore them to a degree. 10 points, you're probably not going to hold Cincinnati to 10 points. So it's incumbent on the Jaguars to make a few more big plays. Jaguars probably could have had 40 the other day, and probably feel like they should have. This is not a game where the offense needs to come off the field thinking, man, we should have gotten this many. You're going to need that many, whatever that many is.
Right.
And so they're really good. I personally would probably take Chase over anybody in the league, with apologies to Justin Jefferson and a couple other guys. I love Cincinnati's offense. I'm very upfront with saying, beyond the 53 on the Jaguars, Joe Burrow is my favorite NFL player. I love watching him play, and him throwing to Chase is great throwing to great. And so they're going to get you. You've got to get them a few more times than they get you.
Yeah, there's problem, and the problem is we have to get comfortable knowing that they're going to catch passes because we're going to play so much zone that they're going to find the voids and they're going to catch some balls and those things. Now, what you would like is to make sure that as soon as they catch it, there's 2 or 3 defenders in close proximity that are able to make the tackle. And over time, you would like to really beat these receivers up in terms of beating them up before they get the ball, but really after. You want to beat them up so at some point, man, they drop a ball because they've been hit time after time after time. But really, the pressure goes to the front. If Joe Burrow has all day to throw and this becomes a 7-on-7 drill, Cincinnati's going to move the ball up and down the field. Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead, anybody up front, they're going to have to be able to get Joe Burrow off the spot. This cannot be one where he is literally catching, throwing on time, and this is just like pitch and catch, them throwing on air. We have to impact the quarterback by having a pass rush, but we have to be able to do it with 4 so we can leave those 7 guys in the back end there to be able to look for number 1 and number 5. We have to take them away. Noah Fant and those other guys can catch it, but you cannot get beat with the right hand. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins cannot have big games if we're going to be able to win this.
And this is really a game, you hear more and more these days the word competitive stamina. Keep playing even when it's tough. Trying to pressure and rattle Burrow, the same element comes into play. You can hit him on the first drive. You can sack him on the first drive. Doesn't mean he's going to be discouraged on the next drive. He is used to getting hit. Like when he gets sacked 3 or 4 times, I think he kind of thinks that's when the game starts. We've seen that. So I guess what I'm saying for the Jaguars' defensive front, just because you sacked him twice in the first half doesn't mean he's going to be rattled and throw you the ball. You have to keep going. You have to not get discouraged. If you sack him on second down and he converts one on third down, he's an all-day sucker. So you have to keep playing against these guys with the idea that they might get 24. You've got to get that turnover in the fourth quarter and make sure your team gets 27 and keep playing until the end of the whistle against these guys, because there is competitive, and Burrow's as good as I've seen in a long time. With just because you rattle him, just because you hit him, doesn't mean you've beaten him.
True. But Liam Cohen today, Bucky, said that could see some more Travis Hunter defensive snaps this week. You buying that, and how could he help the cause?
Yes, if you listen to what they've talked about the entire time, Travis Hunter is going to be used selectively on defense. In those moments, I'm going to be real with you. Didn't really see the need to have a lot of Travis Hunter versus the Carolina Panthers when you look at their wideouts. Roy McMillan is solid, but he's not quite in the stratosphere as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. This is a game where we need all hands on deck, so Travis Hunter should be up. Because it's a lot of zone coverage, this should play to his skill set. He should have his eyes on Joe Burrow, and he is looking to make a play on a tip or an overthrow or an aggressive break because he gets a sense where Joe is throwing. This is a game where I would expect to see him play a ton. Man, maybe 50% of the defensive snaps, if not more. They're going to be in spread sets. They're not a team that really wants to commit to the run, so that should be able to also protect him. But look, nickel, dime coverage, look for number 12 to be out there. He is needed because this is one where the ball is going to be up 35 to 40 times. There's more opportunities for him to make plays.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup in that sense because, as I said earlier, I love Burrow because of his confidence. Well, Joey B ain't going to be scared of Travis Hunter.
He won a Heisman too, by the way.
But that could be good, meaning he's not going to be scared to test the kid. And the kid has the ability to break on the ball and take advantage of that sort of confidence. So this is a sort of, as Bucky likes to say, the gunslinger matchup, whatever. It's fascinating because I don't think Cincinnati's quarterback is going to be scared to throw at the rookie. But I also don't think the rookie's going to be scared to go try to make a play. So this could be a situation where he has more opportunities than he usually might get, Bucky.
Yeah, and I will say this, so everyone understands from a scouting standpoint, Travis Hunter is considered to be a big cornerback. And one of the reasons why it was really important for us to get a guy like Travis to play DB is anybody that is over 6 foot who has long arms and athleticism, they're uniquely qualified to be able to match it with the big receivers in the league. And even though Jamar Chase is thick and sturdy, you talk about 6'1" or so, T. Higgins is 6'3", 6'4". The reason why you want Travis Hunter out there is because his ball skills are spectacular, but his athleticism when the ball is in the air really comes into play in these matchups. Because we're such a vision and break zone dominant team, he is going to have opportunities to win some of these 50-50 balls when they throw it up, because Joe Burrow is not going to be afraid of number 12, and he's going to test him until Hunter discourages him from throwing that way. That means we might see Travis Hunter come up with an interception or two because he is getting tested and he is matching up with Chase or T. Higgins on the perimeter.
I'm locking a pick.
Oh, wow, pulling out a Wednesday lock, John.
Locking a pick. I'm not locking a win, but I'm locking a pick.
Oh, a pick.
Yeah, a pick.
Okay.
I think Travis Hunter gets a pick, and I think it's one where they throw a 50-50 ball to somebody. He comes down with it with something spectacular, and he's doing this number.
Whatever that number is.
Oh my
screen is limited.
Wow.
JP is there in person, so he got a chance to see it.
I saw
my
it.
screen is limited. I can only envision whatever that was. Whatever that is,
John.
Whatever that is,
just John.
I can do it. But I am 100% with you in terms of he is going to have opportunities to make plays on the ball. The more that he plays, and I just think about all the things that we saw in practice. I know people say, we talking about practice. But yes, we're talking about practice. All those interceptions that we saw over the course of the offseason and training camp, I think he's going to have an opportunity to make one or two of those plays. His ball skills are terrific. And the more that he plays in this game, the odds go up that he's going to touch it. He's going to get his hands on one. And maybe you talk about interception. How about a pick six? How about a pick six to cap it off? We saw Dewey have one that they took off the board. And if they do it, I promise you, John, right there on the sideline, I may run it to the end zone, and I may do the little thingy that you did. I may do the Oehser dance in the end zone right there with him. I'll try not to get a penalty because I don't want Liam and Gladstone, and I definitely don't want Tony mad at me. But if it happens, I'm going to be down there in the far corner doing the John Oehser thing.
The John.
That's
Everybody do the John.
That'd be funny if
Everybody
that's actually what it was called that Travis was doing the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think Travis is going to adapt the John anytime soon, by the way.
Wow.
And by the way, just to clarify, not locking the game. Because
Okay,
I do not believe that at all.
Just an
But
interception. By
I'll lock
Hunter.
a pick.
A pick by Hunter.
I'll lock a pick.
Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute. Are you're afraid to lock the Bengals game? The
Yeah,
Bengals
lock the
just
game.
played
The Bengals are
a 17-16 game with the Browns that they probably should have lost. And come on, John. Come on.
No,
That's
I will
right
say
there.
I
this.
love what I saw from the Jaguars the other day.
Yes.
But I'm not going to lock a road game against a team that I think is going to the playoffs yet. I think there's going to be a good team, the Jaguars, better than I thought they were. But I'm not locking Sunday against Joey Baldwin.
Yeah, the Bengals are a different kind of cat, if you will, literally, than the Panthers. And we'll find out if the Jaguars can go up there and do some damage on Sunday. Bucky, have a great rest of the week. Always a pleasure. Cover your eyes next time John dances. Trust me.
No. We're gonna bring that up. We're gonna have everybody doing it. We're gonna make it a thing. We're gonna make it a thing down in Duval. Like everyone, after Travis makes plays, we're gonna do the little John dance. We're gonna do the John. That's fun. I'm glad we got that.
Part of that.
I'm glad we have a video visual that we can see.
Bucky Brooks, John Oehser, you might have heard of him. I'm JP Shadrick, and our thanks to our entire crew: Joe Fortunato, David Cho, Brent Reber. Thanks to you for watching Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.